Take a moment right now. Think about the very last choice you made. Perhaps it was what you had for breakfast, which notification you tapped first, or even the decision to press play on this very video. Now, I want you to ask yourself, was that choice really yours? Or was it an inevitable outcome, a ripple in a vast ocean of cause and effect, driven by your past experiences, your biology, your environment, your subconscious desires? It's a disquieting question, isn't it? We pride ourselves on our free will, on being the architects of our own destiny. The idea that our decisions might be merely predetermined events unfolding within a grand cosmic script can feel profoundly unsettling, even threatening to our sense of self. But what if a radical shift in perspective, born from the mind of a brilliant 17th century philosopher, offers not a threat, but the promise of profound peace and an unparalleled sense of liberation? What if the freedom we relentlessly pursue, the freedom to choose anything, to be anything, to constantly chase external desires, is actually a subtle, yet powerful, form of bondage? A gilded cage woven from the very threads of our supposed autonomy, leaving us perpetually vulnerable to disappointment, regret, and the endless churn of unmet wants. This philosopher didn't just question our everyday assumptions, he completely redefined the very concept of freedom. He argued that true liberation isn't found in a multitude of choices, but in a profound understanding of necessity. It's a freedom not from the way the world is, but a powerful, unshakable freedom within it. Imagine a serenity that no external circumstance can touch, a deep inner peace that transcends the shifting tides of fate. That might sound paradoxical, even impossible. But I promise you, by journeying with us through the profound insights of Baruch Spinoza, you will embark on a path to discover a form of freedom more powerful, more lasting, and ultimately, more authentically yours than anything you've ever conceived. It's a journey that challenges everything you thought you knew about being free and invites you to embrace a tranquility that is truly unshakable. Are you ready to discover what true freedom truly means? Hello, and welcome. Take a moment, if you will, to consider a question that, in some form or another, has likely touched all of us. Have you ever felt truly adrift? Perhaps like your inner world, your emotions, your very sense of self was a small, rudderless ship, tossed relentlessly by every unpredictable storm, every passing wave of circumstance. Or perhaps you've wrestled with that persistent, gnawing feeling of a profound lack of control, a sense that life is just happening to you, that you are merely a passenger rather than an active participant in shaping your own journey. If any of that resonates, even a little, then let me assure you, you are far from alone in that experience, and more importantly, you have absolutely come to the right place at the right time. Because today, we're not just going to talk about a book written over 350 years ago. We're going to plunge headfirst into a profound work that, in a deeply surprising and practical way, holds more timeless wisdom for navigating the often overwhelming complexities of modern life than perhaps an entire shelf full of contemporary self-help bestsellers published just last year. We are about to embark on an intellectual adventure into the mind of Benedictus de Spinoza and his singular, revolutionary masterpiece, quite simply titled Ethics, demonstrated in geometrical order *. Spinoza was a figure of towering intellect from the 17th century Dutch Golden Age, a philosopher whose ideas were so utterly radical, so profoundly challenging to the established religious and social norms of his era, that he was formally excommunicated from his Jewish community at the tender age of 23. This excommunication wasn't a minor affair. It meant social isolation, intellectual ostracism. Yet, despite or perhaps because of this profound personal crucible, he chose to live a remarkably solitary, deeply modest life, earning his humble living as a grinder of optical lenses. It was from this quiet, almost ascetic existence, amidst the meticulous craft of shaping glass, that he meticulously fashioned a philosophical system of breathtaking scope, rigorous precision, and unparalleled ambition. His ethics wasn't merely a treatise, it was an attempt to illuminate, with almost mathematical certainty, the very nature of existence, the essence of God which Spinoza famously equated with nature itself, the intricacies of the human mind, and ultimately the intricate path to genuine human freedom and lasting happiness. Now, let's be honest. If the very phrase demonstrated in geometrical order sends a shiver down your spine, conjuring up vivid mental images of dry, impossibly dense, and utterly impenetrable academic texts designed to be deciphered only by tenured professors in ivory towers, then I want you to know that I absolutely, unequivocally understand. Trust me when I say I have walked that path of intellectual intimidation many times before. For years, throughout my own adult life, I found myself frequently and profoundly overwhelmed. My inner world often felt less like a calm harbor and more like a perpetually turbulent sea, a chaotic maelstrom of worries, anxieties, and a relentless cascade of what-ifs. That constant, low-frequency hum of uncertainty, the unsettling feeling of being perpetually at the mercy of external events, or even worse, my own seemingly uncontrollable emotional reactions. It was not just unpleasant, it was utterly exhausting, draining my energy and spirit. I tried countless contemporary approaches, meditative practices, the latest self-help gurus promising instant breakthroughs, even just desperately trying to think positive in the face of overwhelming negativity. Some offered fleeting, temporary relief, a brief respite from the storm, but the underlying insidious sense of powerlessness, that feeling of being a passive observer to my own life, always frustratingly persisted. Then, almost by chance, I encountered Spinoza. And let me be clear, it wasn't an immediate lightning bolt revelation. It was a gradual, often challenging, and deeply introspective process of unpacking his extraordinarily dense yet elegant ideas. But what I progressively discovered within those pages wasn't just abstract, disconnected philosophy. It was a powerful, transformative new lens through which to view my entire existence. Spinoza offered me not a superficial band-aid for my emotional wounds, but a fundamental, earth-shattering paradigm shift in how I understood myself, my place in the universe, and my capacity for genuine agency. He didn't just provide comforting platitudes or tell me to simply feel better. He systematically showed me, with astonishing clarity, why I felt the way I did, and more importantly, how I could, through reasoned insight and intellectual discipline, systematically dismantle the very mental architectures and flawed conceptions that perpetuated my suffering. It was a profound, almost visceral realization. Much of my anxiety, my sense of being out of control, stemmed directly from deep-seated misunderstandings of what control truly meant, of the nature of emotion itself, and of the intricate, beautiful, and profoundly deterministic causal dance of the universe. It was quite literally an operating manual, not for some complex machine, but for my own mind and its intricate, inescapable relationship to everything else that exists. And that, fundamentally, is the core purpose and promise of this entire series. This isn't going to be a stuffy, dry, purely academic lecture filled with obscure historical jargon, endless footnotes, and debates over minor textual interpretations. While we will, of course, approach Spinoza's thought with the respect and rigor it so profoundly deserves, our primary mission here is to act as intellectual prospectors, as philosophical treasure hunters. We are digging for gold, for truly life-changing wisdom, for incredibly practical tools and insights that you can actively integrate into your daily life right now this very week, this very moment. We're not just going to passively talk about Spinoza, we're going to dynamically engage with him to collaboratively extract the absolute essence of his intellectual brilliance and apply it directly, powerfully, and practically to our most pressing contemporary challenges, be they personal, emotional, or existential. This is about real-world application, about finding a path to greater resilience, deeper understanding, and a more profound sense of inner peace. My unwavering promise to you is this: by the end of our shared journey through Spinoza's ethics, you will emerge with far more than just a fleeting intellectual understanding of a historically significant philosopher, however brilliant he may have been. No, you will gain a clearer, a more profound, and an intimately personal grasp of the very operating system of your own mind, your emotions, your volitions, and indeed of the universe itself. You will acquire invaluable insights into how your thoughts and feelings truly arise, not as random occurrences, but as natural consequences, and how they can be managed not through brute force suppression or naive wishful thinking, but through deep, rational understanding. You will learn how to cultivate a deep, abiding sense of peace, a robust emotional equilibrium, and a uniquely Spinozistic rational joy, a serenity that can endure and even flourish, irrespective of the often turbulent external circumstances of your life. Spinoza's ethics isn't merely a 350-year-old book. It is an enduring invitation, a meticulously crafted blueprint to a different, more liberated way of living, a profound and practical path to genuine freedom and lasting happiness, forged by unmatched reason and unparalleled insight centuries ago, yet more vital, more urgent, and more transformative than ever today. Let us embark on this extraordinary journey together. Welcome to Essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson, a journey into the mind of one of America's most influential thinkers. We begin with a foundational concept, one that underpins much of Emerson's worldview, the unity of all existence. We're going to rethink God. For many, God conjures a transcendent being, separate from the universe, sitting somewhere out there. This God is often a cosmic judge, a benevolent or wrathful father figure dictating laws, evaluating our actions, dispensing rewards or punishments. This traditional view posits a clear separation between creator and created, a distinct entity observing, intervening, and ultimately judging humanity. It's a powerful narrative, deeply embedded in many cultures, but it fosters alienation and constant scrutiny, creating a hierarchical universe where we are perpetually evaluated by an external authority. But what if one of history's most profound philosophers, Baruch Spinoza, offered a fundamentally different and arguably more liberating perspective centuries ago? Spinoza, a 17th-century Dutch philosopher, proposed a concept so revolutionary it earned him excommunication from his Jewish community and condemnation from Christian authorities. His radical idea, encapsulated in the Latin phrase *Deus sive natura*, translates to God or nature, or more accurately, God, which is to say, nature. This isn't a poetic metaphor, it's a profound identification. Spinoza asserted that God and nature are not merely connected, but are one and the same singular, infinite reality. There is no separate deity pulling strings from above, rather the entire cosmos, in all its breathtaking complexity and boundless energy, is the divine. This unitary reality he called substance. Imagine, not a creator apart from creation, but creation itself as the ultimate and only reality. Substance for Spinoza is the single, all-encompassing, self-caused, and infinite reality that is everything. It is the underlying fabric of existence, the fundamental ground of being from which everything arises. It has no external cause because it is the cause of everything, including itself. There is nothing outside of substance. Every star, atom, thought, emotion, physical law, fleeting moment of consciousness, all are merely modes or attributes of this single grand substance. We are not separate from God, we are expressions of God. To truly grasp this profound shift, let's turn to a modern analogy: the internet. Think of the internet not just as a collection of websites, but as the entire global network itself, the vast infrastructure of cables, servers, protocols, code, and data that enables connection and information flow. This entire underlying reality is analogous to Spinoza's substance. Now, consider individual websites or apps. Each has its own distinct appearance, content, and purpose. They seem separate, performing different functions. Yet, despite their apparent individuality, they are all fundamentally built from the same underlying code, relying on the same network protocols, and existing within the singular, overarching reality of the internet. If the internet were to cease to exist, so too would every website, every app, every piece of data. In this analogy, we as individual beings are like those distinct websites. We have our unique experiences, personalities, and stories. But just as every website is an expression of the internet, we are all expressions or modes of this singular, infinite substance. We are not separate from the ultimate reality. We are it, in miniature, in motion, in thought. Our individuality doesn't negate our fundamental unity, it celebrates the infinite diversity of the one substance. Now, this perspective has a truly radical implication, one that directly challenges our ingrained moral frameworks. If the universe is God, if everything arises from and is part of this singular, undifferentiated substance, then what becomes of concepts like cosmic good and evil? If everything simply is as a necessary expression of the infinite nature of substance, then there can be no external, divine judgment. There is no separate entity to deem one thing good and another evil. Think about it: the eruption of a volcano, the growth of a forest, the birth of a child, the collapse of a star, the joy of love, the pain of loss, all are natural occurrences, expressions of the universe's own unfolding. From the perspective of substance, they simply are. They are neither good nor evil. They are simply manifestations of the infinite attributes of reality. It's only our human minds, with our limited perspectives and our desire for order and meaning, that project these moral categories onto them. A tsunami is devastating to human life, but from the perspective of the ocean and the tectonic plates, it's just physics, a natural phenomenon. This doesn't mean we abandon ethics or compassion. It means the source of our ethics shifts. Morality becomes an internal human construct, a societal agreement for harmonious living, rather than a divinely dictated decree. This perspective removes the crushing weight of cosmic blame and judgment. It liberates us from the idea that we are somehow failing an external standard or being tested by a separate, all-seeing eye. Our actions have consequences, yes, but those consequences are immanent, part of the natural unfolding of the universe, not verdicts from an external judge. By embracing Deus Sive Natura we move from a universe of separation and judgment to one of profound unity and acceptance. We stop looking for God out there and begin to perceive the sacred in every leaf, every wave, every breath, every thought and deed, in our very selves and in each other. This radical reorientation of our understanding of the divine, this dissolution of the boundary between God and nature, forms the bedrock upon which much of Emerson's own transcendental philosophy is built. It prepares us to understand his call for self-reliance, his reverence for nature, and his profound belief in the inherent divinity of every individual. This new lens, though centuries old, still feels incredibly fresh and challenging. It asks us to shed comfortable but limiting beliefs and to open ourselves to a universe that is not just observed by God, but is God in its entirety, in its awe-inspiring, sometimes terrifying, always magnificent truth. Welcome back. In our previous chapter, we began to unearth the profound wisdom within Emerson's essays, exploring self-reliance as a spiritual calling. Now, we dive deeper into the very nature of that self, moving from external individuality to its internal architecture. We challenge one of our most ingrained perceptions, the idea that we are fundamentally a mind trapped within, or merely controlling, a physical body. This chapter is titled Chapter 2. You are not a ghost in a machine. Mind and body are one. It's a common and almost intuitive feeling, isn't it? The sense that you, the essential you, is your consciousness, your thoughts, your feelings, an ephemeral spark residing somewhere behind your eyes, an internal operator piloting the vehicle of your physical form. We often speak of our mind making decisions and our body carrying them out, as if they are distinct entities, one commanding, the other obeying. You might feel like a ghost in the machine, a driver at the wheel of a biological apparatus. This dualistic view, separating mind from body, has deep roots in Western thought, influencing everything from philosophy to medicine. But what if this deeply ingrained feeling, this fundamental intuition, is actually misleading us from a more profound truth about our being? What if the separation we perceive is, in fact, an illusion preventing us from truly knowing ourselves? Enter Baruch Spinoza, a Dutch philosopher from the 17th century whose ideas were revolutionary and deeply controversial in his time. Spinoza offered a radical alternative to this mind-body problem, one that resonates powerfully with a more unified understanding of self, a perspective that Emerson, in his own way, would champion. Spinoza argued that the mind and body are not two separate entities interacting with each other. They are not a driver and a car, nor a ghost and a machine. Instead, he proposed that they are two different attributes or expressions of the very same single thing, which he called substance or God or nature. Think of it like this: imagine looking at the same coin from two different angles. From one angle, you see heads, from another you see tails, but it's still one single coin. You can't have heads without tails, and you can't have tails without heads. They are inseparable aspects of the same reality. For Spinoza, every mental event, every thought, every feeling, every perception has a corresponding physical event. And conversely, every physical event in your body has a corresponding mental expression. They are not cause and effect. They are not one influencing the other. Instead, they are two parallel modes of expression of the same underlying reality, unfolding simultaneously and inextricably linked. A thought is the mental side of a physical event, and a physical event is the bodily side of a thought. They are perfectly synchronized because they are, in essence, one and the same event, simply observed from different perspectives. There is no interaction between them because there is no fundamental separation. They are unified. Let's ground this powerful concept in a practical, everyday example that many of us can relate to: the feeling of butterflies in your stomach. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation, or perhaps you're on your way to a first date. You might notice a peculiar fluttering sensation, a nervous churn deep in your gut. Traditionally, we tend to explain this by saying, "I'm feeling anxious about this situation, and that's why my body is reacting by giving me butterflies." We perceive the anxiety as a purely mental state and the butterflies as a purely physical reaction to it. But Spinoza invites us to see it differently, more profoundly. The butterflies in your stomach aren't just a physical reaction to anxiety, they are the anxiety expressed physically. The mental state of anxiety and the physical state of your gut churning are not separate entities causing each other, they are two sides of the same unified event. Your anxiety is the body's state as much as the mind's. It's an inseparable phenomenon, a single experience manifesting simultaneously in both the mental and physical attributes of your being. This isn't just a philosophical parlor trick, it has profound implications for how we understand ourselves, our well-being, and our journey to self-knowledge. If mind and body are truly one, then to understand your mind, your thoughts, emotions, desires, consciousness, you must equally understand and attend to your body. We often get trapped in a cycle of intellectual introspection, trying to dissect our thoughts, our feelings, our internal narratives, as if they exist in a vacuum, detached from our physical form. But Spinoza teaches us that our body is not merely a vessel or temporary housing, it is an integral, expressive part of our experience, a continuous manifestation of who we are. To genuinely know yourself, to cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness and self-mastery, requires a holistic approach, one that recognizes the profound unity of mental and physical existence. It means listening to your body's signals, not just as isolated physical sensations or ailments, but as direct, unfiltered expressions of your mental and emotional state. Are you feeling sluggish or drained? Is there persistent tension in your shoulders or jaw, a tightness in your chest, or a shallow breath? These aren't just bodily inconveniences to be ignored or medicated away. They are information, vital clues, expressions of your inner landscape, your stress levels, your unacknowledged emotions, your true needs. Paying attention to our posture, our breath, our energy levels, our physical urges, subtle aches and discomforts, these are not secondary considerations or mere distractions. They are primary pathways to understanding our emotional states, psychological patterns, true desires, and our overall state of being. It's about recognizing that when your body feels a certain way, your mind is that feeling, and vice versa. There isn't a separate you that feels one thing while your body feels another. By embracing this unified view, we move beyond the illusion of being a ghost in a machine and instead cultivate a more integrated, grounded, and ultimately, a more authentic sense of self. We stop trying to drive a machine and begin to experience ourselves as the integrated, dynamic, and wonderfully complex organism that we truly are. This understanding empowers us to approach self-care not as separate mental exercises and physical routines, but as a single, unified practice of tending to our being. It invites us to pay as much reverence and attention to the quiet wisdom of our physical sensations as to the noisy chatter of our thoughts. In this unity, we find a more complete and powerful path to self-knowledge and a truly integrated existence. Welcome to Chapter 3, The Beautiful Truth About Determinism. In our exploration of Emerson, we often find him echoing philosophical currents that, while perhaps not explicitly named, deeply informed his worldview. One such profound current, resonating with a surprisingly liberating power, comes from the 17th century philosopher Baruch Spinoza. It's a concept that for many immediately conjures images of helplessness and a lack of control. Determinism. Yet for Spinoza, and for those willing to truly grasp its implications, determinism is not a prison sentence. It is, quite paradoxically, the very key to profound freedom, achieved through understanding. Let's dismantle the common fear surrounding this idea. For Spinoza, what we commonly perceive and cherish as free will is, in essence, an elaborate illusion. It's a powerful, compelling illusion, certainly one we experience every waking moment, but an illusion nonetheless. We feel like we're making choices, that we could have acted otherwise, that our decisions spring from an uncaused, independent self. But Spinoza argues that this feeling arises precisely because we are fundamentally unaware of the intricate web of causes that compel us to act. Every thought, every desire, every decision we make is, according to his philosophy, the inevitable outcome of prior causes, a complex interplay of our biology, our upbringing, our environment, our past experiences, the very structure of our minds and bodies. We feel free because the chain of causality, stretching back infinitely, is too vast and intricate for our finite minds to fully perceive in real time. We only apprehend the immediate effect of our choice without seeing the relentless forces that brought it into being. Consider an analogy Spinoza himself famously used. Imagine a stone flung through the air, hurtling towards the ground. If that stone were somehow endowed with consciousness, it would, in its ignorance, believe it was freely choosing to fall. It would think, I desire to move downwards, I am exercising my will to descend. It would not recognize the external force of gravity, nor the initial impetus that launched it, as the true, necessitating causes of its trajectory. Its internal sensation of choosing would be purely a subjective experience of an objective, determined event. We, as human beings, are no different. We are like that conscious stone, propelled by forces both internal and external, yet convinced of our autonomous, self-originated choices because we cannot fully apprehend the causal mechanisms at play. Our will is simply the name we give to our conscious desire when we are ignorant of its true cause. Now, this understanding often leads to another misconception: fatalism. Many assume that if everything is determined, then there's no point in trying. We should simply resign ourselves to whatever happens. But this is a crucial distinction. Spinoza's determinism is absolutely not fatalism. Fatalism implies a passive surrender a belief that future events are unchangeable regardless of our actions Spinoza, however, asserts that our actions are themselves part of the determined chain of events. And, critically, understanding the causes that make us act gives us immense power. It doesn't give us the power to violate the laws of nature, but it grants us the power to act more effectively, more intelligently, and more in line with our true nature. When we understand why we feel a certain way, why we are predisposed to certain behaviors, why others act as they do, we are no longer blindly reacting. We gain insight into the mechanics of existence. This understanding allows us to become active participants in our own determination, not by fighting against it, but by aligning with it. Just as a sailor doesn't fight the wind, but learns to use its determined force to navigate, we, by understanding the determined currents of our minds and the world, can steer our lives with greater wisdom and efficacy. We learn to identify the causes that lead to suffering and those that lead to joy. This profound knowledge empowers us to cultivate conditions that foster well-being and rational action, rather than being swept away by unexamined passions and impulses. It means choosing to cultivate beneficial habits, engaging in reflective thought, and pursuing knowledge, not because these actions defy determinism, but because understanding leads us to recognize them as determined paths to a more flourishing existence. This is true freedom for Spinoza, not the freedom from causality, but the freedom through understanding causality. And here lies perhaps the most beautiful and liberating truth of Spinoza's determinism, its capacity for emotional relief. This perspective can dissolve a vast ocean of human suffering rooted in feelings of guilt, regret, and blame both towards ourselves and towards others. If every action is determined, then the idea of having chosen wrongly in a truly independent sense loses its sting. We acted as we were determined to act by the confluence of all preceding causes. This doesn't excuse harmful behavior, nor does it negate the need for consequences or learning. Rather, it reframes our approach to it. Instead of wallowing in self-blame, we can ask, what were the causes that led to this outcome? How can I understand them and modify future conditions? Similarly, our judgment and blame of others can transform into compassion and understanding. When someone wrongs us, instead of reacting with anger rooted in the belief that they freely chose to cause harm, we can begin to see them as complex beings whose actions are the inevitable outcome of their own unique histories, their genetic predispositions, their current circumstances, and their level of understanding. This doesn't mean condoning injustice, but it shifts our emotional response from vindictive rage to a more insightful, empathetic desire for understanding and resolution. It fosters a profound sense of interconnectedness, realizing that we are all, ultimately, manifestations of the same universal causal flow. This perspective liberates us from the heavy burdens of self-reproach and interpersonal resentment, paving the way for a deeper, more tranquil acceptance of ourselves, others, and the world as it truly is. It is in this radical acceptance that Spinoza finds not resignation, but a serene, intellectual love of fate, and indeed, a beautiful, expansive freedom. Welcome back, fellow seekers of truth and self-mastery. In our previous chapters, we've explored Emerson's profound calls for self-reliance and the vital connection between humanity and nature. Now, in Chapter 4, we embark on a journey inward to the very core of our being, our emotions. This isn't just an abstract philosophical discussion. This is about equipping you with a practical framework, a powerful hack for navigating the often turbulent waters of your inner world. We're going to borrow a brilliant lens from the Dutch philosopher Baruch Spinoza, whose insights provide a startlingly clear path from being a passive recipient of your emotions to becoming an active architect of your emotional landscape. Spinoza believed that emotions, or effects as he called them, are natural phenomena as understandable as any law of physics. They aren't mystical forces, they are expressions of our fundamental striving to persevere in our own being, a concept he termed conatus. From this core drive, he identified three primary foundational emotions from which all others arise: desire, joy, and sadness. Desire is the most fundamental. It is the very essence of our being, the impulse to preserve ourselves, to increase our power, to continue to exist and flourish. It's the wanting, the longing, the drive. Joy, then, is precisely what it feels like: an increase in our power, a sensation of moving from a lesser to a greater perfection. When we experience joy, it's a sign that our capacity to act, to thrive, to live fully has been enhanced. Think of the surge of energy, the uplift, the feeling of expansiveness that accompanies genuine joy. Conversely, sadness signifies a decrease in our power, a transition from a greater to a lesser perfection. It's that feeling of being hindered, diminished, or constrained. When sadness takes hold, our ability to act feels impaired, our energy drained, our world shrunken. Now here's where Spinoza's genius truly shines, and where our emotional hack begins. He differentiated between two kinds of emotions: passive and active. Passive emotions are those feelings that happen asterisk to asterisk us. They are reactions to external events or causes that we don't fully understand or control. Think of jealousy, which grips you when you perceive someone else has something you desire, or rage, which erupts when you feel wronged by an outside force, or even overwhelming fear triggered by an external threat. These emotions sweep us away. We feel like victims of our own feelings, tossed about by circumstances beyond our grasp. They diminish our power because they bind us to external things and keep us in a state of reaction rather than conscious action. We become a leaf blown by the wind rather than the wind itself. Active emotions, on the other hand, are feelings that come asterisk from asterisk us. They are generated internally through our own understanding, our reason, our clarity, and our rational action. These are feelings of true joy and strength that arise not from external circumstances, but from our own internal coherence and self-knowledge. Imagine the deep satisfaction that comes from mastering a difficult skill, the serenity of understanding a complex concept, or the robust courage that stems from clear conviction. These active emotions increase our power. They make us more autonomous, more capable, more truly ourselves. We are not reacting to the world. We are engaging with it from a place of strength and understanding. So, how do we make this shift? How do we hack our emotions to move from passive suffering to active power? Here's the core of the practice. When you feel a negative, passive emotion, be it sadness, frustration, anger, or anxiety, instead of resisting it, trying to suppress it, or allowing it to overwhelm you, engage in a crucial act of investigation. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What specific event triggered this? What am I misunderstanding about this situation? What external factors or internal beliefs are at play here? Spinoza famously stated, "An affect which is a passion ceases to be a passion as soon as we form a clear and distinct idea of it." This is the hack. Knowledge transforms, By investigating the cause of your passive emotion, by shining the light of understanding upon it, you begin to transform it. The emotion doesn't necessarily disappear, but your relationship with it fundamentally changes. It no longer happens to you as an unexamined force. You comprehend it. It becomes part of your active understanding, part of your knowledge about yourself and the world. Think of it like this: a child is scared of the shadow monster in their room. As long as it remains an undefined shadow, it holds immense power. But when an adult turns on the light and explains it's just a coat on a chair, the fear dissipates. The coat is still there, but the monster is gone because understanding has replaced passive terror. Similarly, when you understand the mechanics of your anger, the roots of your sadness, or the triggers of your anxiety, you reclaim your power. You're no longer merely suffering, you are actively learning and growing. This practice is deeply aligned with Emerson's spirit of self-reliance. It's about taking responsibility for your internal landscape, refusing to be a mere puppet of external forces or unexamined feelings. It's a continuous process of self-discovery, moving you steadily from a state of being acted upon to a state of acting with purpose and understanding. By consistently applying this emotional hack, you begin to forge a path towards greater freedom, resilience, and true emotional mastery, allowing your inner world to become a source of profound strength rather than a realm of unpredictable storms. Welcome back. In our continuous exploration of Ralph Waldo Emerson's timeless essays, we encounter powerful calls to live authentically, to trust our inner voice, and to strive for self-reliance. Yet, what happens when we feel perpetually constrained, buffeted by circumstance, or trapped by our own emotional turbulence, struggling to heed Emerson's profound advice? This very challenge brings us to Chapter 5, The Escape Plan from Bondage to Freedom. Here, we'll delve into a remarkably practical and enduring philosophical path articulated by the great 17th century philosopher Baruch Spinoza, whose rigorous insights into human nature and the pursuit of tranquility offer a profound resonance with Emerson's vision of intellectual and spiritual liberation. Understanding Spinoza provides a crucial key to truly living the ideals Emerson espouses. Spinoza, with remarkable clarity, laid out a robust framework for understanding what he termed human bondage. In contemporary terms, this state of bondage is incredibly palpable and relatable to our daily experiences. It's that pervasive feeling of being perpetually reactive, where every perceived slight, every unexpected delay, every critical comment from a colleague or a loved one instantly triggers an emotional cascade within us. We find ourselves easily upset, our internal equilibrium constantly disrupted, our mood dictated by external events or the actions of others over which we seem to have little control. This leads to the corrosive feeling of being a victim of circumstance, as if the world is constantly happening to us, rather than us actively shaping our experience within it. It's the constant churn of anxiety, resentment, or frustration, often escalating into a sense of powerlessness, leaving us feeling anything but free. In essence, Spinoza argued, we are enslaved by our passions and confused perceptions, pulled this way and that by forces we don't fully comprehend and therefore cannot master. But Spinoza, ever the optimist for human potential, offers a definitive escape key, a master plan for genuine liberation. This key is nothing less than the magnificent power of reason and its capacity to form what he termed adequate ideas. What precisely are adequate ideas? Simply put, they are clear, distinct and complete understandings of why things are the way they are. They are ideas that grasp the true, underlying causes and the inherent nature of things, rather than just their superficial appearance or our immediate, often distorted, emotional reaction to them. When we attain an adequate idea, we understand something not merely as an isolated, arbitrary event, but in its proper place within the grander, necessary scheme of cause and effect that governs existence. This clarity allows us to see the world as it is rather than through the fog of our desires and fears. Consider a common everyday scenario that might plunge us into emotional turmoil. You're engrossed in your work and your boss unexpectedly delivers a harsh, perhaps even unfair, critique of a project you've poured your efforts into. Your immediate, confused, and highly emotional idea might erupt as "my boss hates me. They're deliberately trying to undermine me. My hard work is worthless, and I'm fundamentally a failure." This inadequate, partial understanding immediately plunges you into a deep well of emotional pain, anger, fear, self-pity, and a sense of betrayal. You feel personally attacked, isolated, and utterly powerless, trapped by these overwhelming feelings. This, for Spinoza, is human bondage in action. Now, let's consciously apply Spinoza's escape key. Through a deliberate act of reason, you begin to gather more information, to look beyond the immediate sting, and to form a more adequate idea. Perhaps, after taking a moment to breathe, you recall that your boss is under immense pressure from upper management due to recent company-wide performance issues. Or maybe you realize they are simply relaying unvarnished feedback from a client, using strong language not out of personal animosity, but because they genuinely feel the project's success is absolutely critical for the team. This new, more comprehensive understanding doesn't magically erase the fact of the critique, nor does it necessarily mean you agree with the manner in which it was delivered, or that the pressure on your boss excuses their behavior. But the adequate idea that your boss is acting from a place of systemic pressure and external demands, rather than personal malice aimed directly at you, fundamentally and profoundly neutralizes the emotional pain of feeling personally targeted. The piercing sensation of being a victim dissipates, replaced by a clearer, more objective understanding. You move from the confused, passive idea of "they hate me" to the clearer, more active understanding of "they are acting under significant constraint," or "this feedback is a reflection of broader organizational stress and project demands." This remarkable shift from confused, passive suffering to clear, active understanding is the very essence of Spinoza's transformative path to freedom. When we understand the necessary causes behind an event, when we grasp its intricate place in the larger, interconnected web of existence, our emotional dependence and reactivity to that event dramatically diminish. We are no longer merely reacting blindly to its surface effects, but comprehending its deeper origins and interrelations. This intellectual grasp allows us to respond with considered reason, rather than be impulsively swept away by uncontrolled passion. It's about moving from being affected by things, feeling like a pawn, to acting in light of a deeper, more profound comprehension, thereby reclaiming our agency. It's truly fascinating how this ancient philosophy resonates profoundly with modern psychological practices specifically designed for emotional well-being and mental clarity. Take mindfulness, for instance. Mindfulness, in its core practice, teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, to create a crucial space between the immediate stimulus and our habitual reaction. This act of dispassionate observation is a vital first step towards forming adequate ideas. It's about seeing the emotion for what it truly is, a temporary mental event, an internal phenomenon, rather than being completely consumed and defined by it. It enables us to step back and ask, with a degree of detachment, what is truly happening here beneath the surface? What are the actual underlying causes, both internal and external? Similarly, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a widely recognized and effective therapeutic approach, mirrors Spinoza's rationalist strategy by helping individuals identify and challenge distorted thoughts, which are, in essence, those very inadequate ideas Spinoza described. A CBT therapist helps clients meticulously gather evidence and then actively reframe those emotionally charged, irrational thoughts into more rational, balanced, and therefore more adequate perspectives. For example, if a CBT client repeatedly thinks, "Everyone always judges me harshly," a therapist guides them through a process to gather evidence, testing this assumption, and ultimately reframe that thought into something more adequate, like, "Sometimes people have opinions, some are indifferent, and a significant number are actually supportive or too focused on their own concerns to judge me constantly." Both Spinoza, from his 17th century study, and modern CBT, from its clinical practice, point us towards the same liberating power of consciously correcting and refining our internal narratives through the unwavering lens of reason. Ultimately, Spinoza's escape plan is far more than a philosophical concept. It is a profound and active invitation to reclaim our fundamental agency and inner peace. It's about diligently working, day by day, moment by moment, to replace our confused, emotionally charged perceptions with clear, reasoned understandings. This isn't about passively accepting fate or suppressing emotions. It's an active, intellectual, and deeply personal pursuit of freedom. By transforming our internal landscape from one of reactive bondage to one of reasoned freedom, we become the true masters of our own minds, capable of navigating life's inevitable complexities with greater equanimity, resilience, and profound purpose. This intellectual and emotional liberation is not just a philosophical ideal, it is a vital, practical step on the very path Emerson championed: a life lived with authentic self-reliance, genuine inner peace, and a profound connection to truth. Welcome to Chapter 6, The Ultimate Goal, a journey into the profound concept of lasting happiness. Throughout our journey through Emerson's essays, we've explored self-reliance, the power of nature, and the depths of our inner lives, each pointing towards a more profound, lasting satisfaction. Now, as we approach the summit of human potential, we turn our attention to one of philosophy's most compelling visions of human flourishing, articulated by the brilliant 17th century Dutch philosopher, Baruch Spinoza. His concept of the highest human achievement isn't about material wealth, fleeting sensual pleasures, or even conventional religious ecstasy. For Spinoza, the pinnacle of human experience is a profound, stable, unshakable happiness he called the intellectual love of God, or, in its original Latin, *amar Dei intellectualis*. This phrase, intellectual love of God, can initially sound rather daunting, perhaps even a little mystical or religiously exclusive. But it's crucial to understand what Spinoza truly meant by it. He wasn't suggesting a personal devotion to a bearded deity or an emotional infatuation with a supernatural being separate from the world. For Spinoza, God and nature were essentially interchangeable terms, two different names for the same single, infinite, all-encompassing substance from which everything in existence derives. This God is not a creator in the traditional sense, but rather the immanent, ordered, and necessary totality of reality itself. Therefore, the intellectual love of God is, at its core, a deep, joyful understanding and serene acceptance of the universe exactly as it is, in all its intricate, logical unfolding. It's a cognitive state, an intellectual apprehension of the fundamental laws and interconnectedness of existence that then blossoms into a powerful, affirmative, and wholly rational emotion. It's a love born not of blind faith or passionate desire, but of crystal clear insight and profound intellectual clarity, liberating us from the turbulence of lesser passions. Imagine reaching a state where your intellect truly grasps the intricate, logical, and interconnected system of nature, the causal chain linking every event, every phenomenon, and indeed your own self within a grand unified whole. You begin to see not just individual trees, but the entire forest, not just isolated moments of joy or sorrow, but the ceaseless, necessary flow of eternity. From this elevated perspective, the feeling that emerges is not one of frantic elation or transient pleasure, but a profound, serene, and absolutely unshakable peace. It's the deep contentment that comes from seeing your own place not as an isolated, vulnerable speck adrift in chaos, but as an integral, necessary, and perfect part of this vast, magnificent, and entirely logical system. Your personal struggles, fleeting anxieties, even the grand dramas of human history, begin to recede in their power to disturb your inner peace when viewed against this backdrop of eternal necessity and order. This is a form of happiness immune to external fortune because it's derived from within, from the unassailable clarity of your understanding, a joy that grows stronger the more we understand. Spinoza encouraged us to cultivate this understanding by striving to view things sub specie aeternitatis, from the perspective of eternity. What does this mean in practical terms for our daily lives? It means consciously stepping back from the immediate, often tumultuous, concerns of our personal lives and attempting to see events not just in terms of how they affect us right now, but as timeless truths, as inevitable expressions of nature's unchanging rational laws. When we view our disappointments, our losses, our triumphs, or even our very existence through this lens of eternity, their capacity to disturb our inner peace dramatically diminishes. We come to understand them not as arbitrary misfortunes or undeserved rewards, but as necessary parts of a larger, impersonal, and perfect order. This profound perspective liberates us from the tyranny of transient emotions, fear, envy, regret, ambition, fostering a deep, abiding sense of acceptance, equanimity, and intellectual joy. It transforms suffering into understanding and confusion into clarity. So, where does virtue fit into this ultimate goal, this pursuit of lasting happiness? For Spinoza, virtue isn't a struggle you endure in hopes of a reward later, whether in this life or an afterlife. It's not about diligently following a set of external rules or moral codes merely to earn divine recompense or social praise. On the contrary, virtue, the very act of living rationally, wisely, and in accordance with your true nature as an inseparable part of the universe, is its own immediate and profound reward. The intellectual love of God, this highest form of lasting happiness, isn't a prize bestowed upon the virtuous. It is the direct result, the natural flowering of living wisely. It's the ultimate expression of human freedom, achieved not by futilely defying nature, or attempting to bend it to our will, but by deeply understanding and wholeheartedly embracing it. To live virtuously, to strive for understanding, and to attain this intellectual love is to achieve true blessedness, a happiness that is self-sufficient, unshakable, and enduring. It is, for Spinoza, the ultimate goal, the very purpose and peak of human existence, beckoning us towards a life of profound reason and unparalleled peace. All right, we've explored the profound landscape of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays, diving into his revolutionary ideas on self-reliance, nature, and the individual's place in the grand tapestry of existence. Now, let's bring these transcendent concepts down to earth, giving you a concrete, step-by-step plan to begin integrating these profound philosophical ideas into your daily life immediately. We're going to approach this through the lens of a 7-day Spinoza action plan, because Spinoza's emphasis on understanding emotions, the unity of mind and body, and the interconnectedness of all things offers a remarkably practical framework for embodying many of Emerson's core insights. This isn't about memorizing ancient texts, it's about shifting your perception and cultivating a richer, more intentional way of being. So, let's begin your journey. Day 1 and 2, observe causes. For the first 2 days, your task is to become a curious observer of your own emotional landscape. When you feel a strong emotion, be it joy, frustration, anger, sadness, or exhilaration, pause. Take a moment, a mental breath, and simply ask yourself, what cause, external or internal, led to this feeling? This isn't an exercise in judgment, nor is it about suppressing what you feel. It's purely about observation. Think of yourself as a scientist studying a natural phenomenon. If you feel a surge of irritation in traffic, don't just stew in it. Instead, observe, the external cause is the slow car in front. The internal cause might be my tight schedule, or perhaps a pre-existing stress from this morning. If you feel a wave of unexpected happiness, observe, the external cause was that kind word from a colleague. The internal cause might be that I'm feeling particularly receptive to positivity today, or perhaps I've been craving a bit of recognition. Spinoza posited that all events, including our emotions, are determined by a chain of prior causes. Our passions, as he called them, arise when we have an inadequate understanding of these causes, making us feel like victims of circumstance. By consciously pausing and tracing the lineage of your feelings, identifying the external triggers and the internal interpretations or predispositions, you begin to understand the mechanics of your emotional life. You're not trying to change the feeling, merely to understand its origins. This simple act of observation, without judgment, starts to create a tiny space between stimulus and response, a space where true freedom and clarity can begin to emerge. It's a foundational step towards self-knowledge, a theme so central to Emerson's call for self-reliance. Practice this diligently on both day 1 and day 2, allowing yourself the time to truly explore the why behind your emotions. Day 3 and 4, practice unity. Moving into day 3 and 4, we shift our focus to the profound unity of mind and body, a core tenet of Spinoza's philosophy. For Spinoza, the mind and body aren't two separate entities interacting, but rather two different attributes, two different ways of experiencing and expressing the same underlying reality or substance. What affects one necessarily affects the other. Your practice for these 2 days is to consciously notice this link twice a day and then to act on it. Pay attention to how your mental state manifests physically and how your physical state impacts your mental and emotional well-being. Here are some practical examples if you find yourself mentally stuck, perhaps staring blankly at a screen, unable to concentrate. Pause. Notice the tension in your shoulders, the shallow breathing, the mental fog. Then, physically respond. Stand up, stretch your arms over your head, twist your torso gently, or walk to a window and look outside for a moment. Observe how this small physical shift can often dislodge the mental block, bringing a fresh perspective or renewed energy. Similarly, if you feel a surge of irritability, a short temper, or a general sense of unease, ask yourself, what might my body need right now? You might discover you're dehydrated and need a glass of water, or your blood sugar is low, in which case a healthy snack like an apple or a handful of nuts could make a significant difference. Perhaps you've been sitting for too long and need to move, or you're simply tired and need to rest your eyes for a few minutes. This practice is about tuning into your whole self. It's about recognizing that your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations are not isolated events, but interconnected expressions of your being. By consciously addressing one aspect, you can influence the other. This holistic approach to well-being is powerful and resonates deeply with Emerson's belief in the integrated, natural individual. Try this at least twice a day, noticing the subtle but profound connections between your physical and mental states. Day 5 and 6, reframe an annoyance. For day 5 and 6, we'll take the principles of understanding causes and apply them to our interactions with others, specifically focusing on something that often triggers our judgment or frustration. Take one small thing that annoys you about another person, a family member, a colleague, a public figure, or even a stranger you encounter. Instead of allowing the annoyance to fester, try to understand the necessary causes that make them act that way. See them as part of nature, just like you. This is a profoundly Spinozistic exercise. In Spinoza's deterministic universe, every action is a necessary outcome of prior causes and the inherent nature of the entity. From this perspective, the annoying behavior of another person isn't a random act of malice, but the inevitable consequence of their unique genetic makeup, their life experiences, their learned behaviors, their current circumstances, their physical state, and the beliefs they hold. It's not about condoning harmful actions, but about shifting your internal response. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of immediately labeling them as rude or inconsiderate, try to consider the potential causes. Perhaps they are rushing to a medical emergency. Perhaps they are distracted by a crisis. Perhaps they grew up in a culture with different driving norms, or perhaps they are simply stressed and their judgment is impaired. You don't need to know the specific cause, but the act of contemplating that their causes shifts your perspective. You begin to see them not as an antagonist, but as another complex organism operating within the vast, intricate web of nature, subject to their own set of determining factors, just as you are. This practice cultivates a deeper sense of compassion and detachment. It reduces the personal sting of annoyance because you depersonalize the action. You see the individual not as separate from nature, but as a part of it, with all their imperfections and actions flowing from a complex, determined stream of events. This expansive view, reducing judgment and fostering understanding, aligns beautifully with Emerson's call for a wider, more empathetic view of humanity. Dedicate these 2 days to picking one small annoyance and consciously reframing it through the lens of necessary causes. Day 7, Awe of the whole. We arrive at day 7, the culmination of our action plan, A day dedicated to cultivating what Spinoza called the intellectual love of God, or more broadly, the intellectual love of nature. This is about transcending individual concerns and finding your place within the immense, interconnected system of which you are an essential part. For 5 minutes today, go outside. It doesn't matter where: a backyard, a park, a street corner, a balcony. Look at something natural or a vast urban landscape: the sky, a single leaf on a tree, a towering building, or the distant city skyline. Don't just look, contemplate. Consider how the sky is part of an atmosphere that sustains all life, how sunlight fuels the trees' growth, how the city is a hive of countless lives and systems, all interdependent. Expand your mind to grasp the scale, the intricate dance of forces, the absolute necessity of every element. Then, bring your focus back to yourself within this context. Contemplate how you are inextricably linked to it all. You breathe the air the plants produce. You are warmed by the sun's distant energy. Your very existence is part of this grand, unfolding process. You are one small but absolutely essential thread in this immense, interconnected system. You are not separate from nature. You are nature. This practice aims to evoke a sense of profound awe, humility, and belonging. It's about seeing the beauty and necessity in everything, reducing feelings of isolation, and fostering a deep reverence for existence itself. This transcendental experience of unity with the universe is a powerful echo of Emerson's own profound connection to nature and the Oversoul. Allow yourself to feel that sense of deep connection, that awe of the whole, recognizing your own vital, irreplaceable place within it. This 7-day Spinoza action plan is just the beginning. Each day builds upon the last, guiding you towards a more integrated, understanding, and ultimately freer way of living. Don't feel pressured to perfect each step. The goal is consistent, conscious effort. Repeat the plan, adapt it, or focus on the elements that resonate most deeply with you. With conscious practice, you'll begin to rewire your reactions, deepen your understanding of yourself, and experience the world with a newfound sense of clarity and belonging, truly embodying the transformative power of philosophical inquiry. As our deep dive into the profound landscape of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays draws to a close, it's natural to feel a transformative shift in perspective. To distill the essence of our journey, to crystallize the enduring wisdom that can truly reshape your daily experience, let us anchor ourselves in 3 powerful, interconnected ideas. These aren't just concepts, they are invitations to a richer, more intentional way of living, lessons you can carry with you long after this video fades. Our first pivotal takeaway, resonating at the very core of Emerson's philosophy, is this: everything is one task. You are not a solitary island, adrift and disconnected from the vast tapestry of existence. Rather, you are an intrinsic, inseparable thread woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself. This isn't just a poetic notion, it's a profound recognition of unity. Think for a moment about the subtle dance between a tree and the air it breathes, or the intricate web that connects the smallest organism to the largest celestial body. Emerson compels us to recognize that same intricate connection within ourselves. When we truly grasp that the same creative force, the same divine spark, animates all things from the grandest galaxy to the smallest human aspiration, our sense of isolation begins to dissolve. The walls of ego, those carefully constructed barriers we erect around our individual selves, start to crumble. In their place emerges a profound sense of connection, a shared humanity. and an innate belonging. This understanding fosters empathy, not as a moral obligation, but as a natural consequence of realizing we are all expressions of the same boundless spirit. It reminds us that hurting another is, in a very real sense, hurting a part of ourselves, and contributing to the well-being of the whole is to nurture our own deepest essence. Embrace this unity and watch how your world expands, how your compassion deepens, and how the relentless clamor of the individual ego softens into a harmonious resonance with the universe. The second enduring principle Emerson offers us is to understand, don't judge. This is particularly vital when navigating the often tumultuous currents of our inner lives, especially our emotions. Far too often, we fall into the trap of labeling emotions as good or bad, seeking to suppress the inconvenient ones and cling desperately to the comfortable. Emerson brilliantly reframes this. He teaches us that emotions are not adversaries to be vanquished or fleeting whims to be indulged without question. Instead, they are invaluable sources of information, potent signals from our deepest selves, providing crucial data about our current state, our needs, and our alignment with our true nature. When anger flares, rather than immediately condemning it or lashing out, pause. Ask yourself, what is this anger trying to tell me? Is it a boundary that has been crossed? Is it a sign of unaddressed injustice? When sadness descends, instead of pushing it away, inquire, what loss am I grieving? What unmet need is surfacing? By approaching our emotions with curiosity rather than condemnation, by seeking to understand their origins and messages, we cease to be their unwitting puppets. We transform from being reactive subjects to insightful observers, gaining a mastery that empowers us to respond consciously and constructively rather than impulsively. This shift is revolutionary. It allows us to move beyond superficial reactions to the root causes, turning our emotional landscape into a wellspring of self-knowledge and personal growth. Understanding unlocks the power to navigate our inner world with grace and intentionality. Finally, we arrive at our third profound truth. True freedom is understanding. This idea challenges one of the most pervasive misconceptions in modern society. We often equate freedom with the ability to do whatever we want, to acquire whatever we desire, to be unburdened by any constraint. Emerson, however, presents a more sophisticated and ultimately far more liberating definition. He suggests that genuine freedom isn't found in the relentless pursuit of external gratification or in an unbridled license to act on every impulse. Such a path often leads to a different kind of servitude to our fleeting whims, to external circumstances, or to societal expectations. True freedom, Emerson asserts, springs from an inner knowing. It is the profound understanding of why we want what we want, the recognition of our deepest motivations, our inherent values, and our connection to the universal order. When we align our actions not with superficial desires, but with our true nature, with the inherent wisdom of the Oversoul that flows through us, that is when we experience authentic liberation. It is the freedom that comes from acting in harmony with who we truly are, free from the tyranny of external pressures or the internal chaos of unexamined desires. This isn't about restriction, it's about discerning choice, about acting from a place of conscious alignment. It's the profound peace of knowing that your choices are not merely reactions, but reflections of your most authentic self, moving with the current of your purpose rather than fighting against it. These three ideas, everything is one, understand, don't judge, and true freedom is understanding, are not isolated pronouncements. They are interconnected threads forming a powerful philosophical tapestry that can guide you toward a life of greater awareness, deeper connection, and authentic self-mastery. They invite you to look inward, to trust your intuition, and to recognize the divine spark that resides within you and in all things. As you step forward, carry these principles not as burdens, but as luminous lanterns illuminating your path, empowering you to live a life truly worthy of the infinite potential Emerson so eloquently celebrated. We have journeyed together through the luminous and often challenging intellectual landscapes of Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays. We've unearthed the bedrock principles of self-reliance, his radical call to trust one's own inner voice above the clamor of convention. We've explored the transcendent beauty and profound lessons embedded in nature, the intricate web of spiritual laws that govern our existence, and the unwavering demand for each individual to forge a path uniquely their own, cultivating a sovereign spirit rather than bowing to societal pressures. Emerson, the sage of Concord, was not merely a philosopher, he was a prophet of personal liberation, perpetually inviting us to awaken to our inherent divinity, to heed the quiet authority of our intuitions, and to craft a life rich in authentic experience, intellectual courage, and moral conviction. This isn't merely a historical artifact or an academic exercise. It is a living, breathing invitation to a more aware, more empowered, and ultimately, more fulfilling existence, echoing down through the centuries to resonate deeply with the modern soul. If this exploration has truly resonated with you, if it has illuminated new pathways of thought, sparked a fresh perspective on your own life's unfolding narrative, or perhaps even offered a moment of profound recognition of your untapped potential, we sincerely invite you to acknowledge that shift by clicking the like button. In a digital world often dominated by fleeting trends, your like is a quiet yet powerful affirmation of enduring wisdom, a signal that these deep dives into perennial philosophy are not only valuable but essential. It helps our shared pursuit of truth reach further, connecting more receptive minds to the timeless insights embedded within these seminal works, fostering a wider community committed to intellectual and spiritual growth. And if you feel an undeniable pull to continue this intellectual adventure, if you are hungry for more such conversations that meticulously unearth the foundational ideas shaping our contemporary thought and culture, then we extend a warm and heartfelt invitation to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you are not merely adding another channel to your feed. You are consciously choosing to become an active member of a vibrant, growing community dedicated to thoughtful inquiry, to grappling with the grand, perennial questions of existence, and to continually seeking wisdom that illuminates, transforms, and empowers. Our ongoing journey into the profound legacy of philosophical and literary giants like Emerson is a genuine commitment to lifelong learning, with each new video offering another invaluable opportunity to expand your intellectual horizons, to sharpen your critical faculties, and to deeply nourish your spirit in an age that often forgets its deeper needs. Don't allow these hard-won insights to simply fade into the background of daily distractions. Instead, become a consistent, engaged participant in the ceaseless pursuit of truth and understanding, a truly Emersonian act of self-cultivation. Emerson himself, while championing the sovereign individual, understood the profound enrichment that arises from the genuine exchange of ideas. He envisioned a society where individual minds met, not to passively conform, but to actively challenge, inspire, and mutually elevate one another. In that very spirit, we earnestly invite you to continue this vital conversation directly below this video in the comments section. We've merely scratched the surface of the multifaceted brilliance contained within his essays, from the radical independence championed in self-reliance to the intricate spiritual tapestry explored in the Oversoul. Considering the vastness, the piercing clarity, and the often revolutionary nature of his insights, we are genuinely eager to hear your unique perspective. Which of Emerson's ideas or specific essays resonated most deeply with you personally? Or perhaps, which concept truly challenged your own preconceived notions, forcing a re-evaluation, or even sparked an entirely new way of seeing the world around you and your place within it? Share your thoughts, express your own considered insights, and engage respectfully with others in this burgeoning community of fellow seekers. Your unique perspective, born of your own direct experience and reflection, is not just welcome, it is utterly essential to the richness and depth of our collective understanding. Let your authentic voice contribute meaningfully to the ongoing dialogue that Emerson himself so passionately championed, proving that true thought always seeks conversation. But the journey, as Emerson would undoubtedly remind us with fervent conviction, never truly concludes with a video, nor with a solitary comment. It is a perpetual unfolding, an infinite striving towards ever greater understanding and profound self-realization. Emerson's essays are not designed to be passively consumed as mere intellectual entertainment. They are living texts meant to be wrestled with, absorbed into the very fabric of one's being, and ultimately lived out in the daily practice of existence. So we implore you, don't stop here at the threshold of these profound ideas. If a particular essay or concept stirred a deep chord within you, perhaps compensation offered a new, balancing lens through which to view life's inevitable challenges, or the powerful call to integrity and moral courage in heroism ignited a transformative spark, or the mystical insights of the Oversoul beckoned you toward a deeper spiritual awareness, make the deliberate choice to seek it out in its entirety. Immerse yourself in the original text, allowing Emerson's masterful, often poetic prose to wash over you, to challenge your deepest assumptions, and to expand the very boundaries of your consciousness. Better yet, explore a thoughtfully curated modern collection of his complete works, many of which come enriched with invaluable annotations, scholarly introductions, and critical analyses that can further illuminate his historical context, unpack his nuanced arguments, and highlight his enduring contemporary relevance. Consider investing in a well-regarded companion guide or a comprehensive biography that delves into the fascinating life and tumultuous times of this pivotal figure in American intellectual history. The act of engaging directly with these primary sources, or with meticulously researched commentaries, is a profound act of intellectual self-reliance, a tangible commitment to deepening your own understanding far beyond any superficial acquaintance. The journey into these profound ideas is not merely academic or theoretical, it is deeply personal, an active, conscious cultivation of your own inner landscape, your very soul. It is, without exaggeration, the most rewarding intellectual and spiritual adventure there is, offering not just ephemeral knowledge, but enduring wisdom, profound self-awareness, and a continually expanding sense of self, intimately connected to the larger universe. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep growing, for your transformative journey into the boundless heart of Emerson's timeless wisdom has truly only just begun.